Hawaiian woman who was destined to become one of the most radical Hawaiian nationalists by the end of the decade. They had been sent as delegates to the Black Panther Convention in Washington, D.C. They were exposed to Panther militarism and ideology, and they met personally with Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, H. Rap Brown, and all of the Black Panther leaders. After the convention, they went to New York, where they were hosted by the Young Lord Party. There they stayed with families in ghettos and barrios, experiencing the shock of East Coast winter in heatless New York tenements. A stopover at another gathering of activists in San Francisco and the return to Hawaii solidified the impact of the Washington Convention. The Panther program of community control, community defense, and self-determination was then adopted by Kokua Hawaii after several organizational meetings. Serving the people became the guiding principle, while the public stance evolved into a more militant direction. Ohelo and Akaka returned to Hawaii in February of 1971. The effect of their trip was reflected in the March rally to the state capitol, where most Kokua Hawaii members donned black berets as a symbol of their solidarity with the Panthers and other third world militant struggles. Kokua Hawaii leadership underwent a change from chair and vice chair to Minister of Defense and Minister of Information. This Panther-type organization revealed a progressive change in political consciousness, as well as the tremendous influence of American radical organizations. Whether this influence had any significant impact on the larger Hawaiian community will remain to be seen. But the sight of Hawaiians marching to the Capitol on the television communicated a seriousness of purpose and a pride in resistance that other Hawaiians noticed and pondered. In this way, the radicalization of Kokua Hawaii was a portent of things to come, especially in the Hawaiian community. My sister's words capture very accurately and clearly the role of Moani. Moani was a symbol. She was many things to us. You know, in my work with Native peoples, I've traveled and learned from all of them. In South Africa, when a great warrior and leader passes, those that come to honor her are called praise singers. And that is what we are. Every one of us that is here. The job of the praise singer is to come and to sing their glory and to share with all of the others that come their stories, their knowledge, to be thankful for what we have and to renew among ourselves that enduring commitment. So let us today be praise singers for our sister Moani Keala Akaka. The Maasai people say that one such as Moani is a clarion. That is the way they describe the one that raises up the pool or strikes the talking stones on Kauai to send the word to the people that something is happening. Something is important. It is impacting them and their lands. The one that calls that out and that ones that goes among the people to inform them so that they can prepare for that coming, good or bad, is a clarion. And that is what our sister Moani was. With her newspaper, with her voice, with the commitment and the gesture of her life, did she inform our peoples about our human rights. And in her way, she never limited herself to the ethnic group, the cultural community, but true to her beliefs, was someone who lived and believed in diversity. She walked with many in our community, not just those that were Hawaiian. When I prepared for this talk, I called a few of my friends and sisters who knew Moani from the beginning time, and I said to them, how would you characterize Moani? And many Hawaiian women said, well, obviously. She was the foremost Hawaiian political feminist of her time, and she set the framework for all Hawaiian women feminists who would follow her. Others said, well, it's very clear and everyone knows that Moani Akaka was a Hawaiian sovereignty activist. But even that was not something that everyone came to agreement on, because some people saw her as a Hawaiian environmentalist. All these things were true of our sister Moani Akaka, because her skills were many and diverse, and because her commitment was so strong and true that she went to pursue it wherever there was a need. The Aina, the people, the keiki, the kupuna, Moani Akaka was there. The first time Moani was arrested, she was 22 years old. The last time she was arrested with us, Mauna Kea, she was 71. 49 years, she demonstrated the appropriate place for Hawaiian advocacy, and that is in the front of the march. That is in the front. You know, those that live in Kenya have a term for those who follow their conviction, regardless of the opposition. Those who have the leadership skills and somehow the personal strength and integrity to go forward to Holomua, even in the most difficult of times. These they call the truth speakers, and that is certainly a title that we bestow on Moani today. Wherever Moani went, no matter what the issue, no matter how strong the opposition, could not persuade Moani to not speak the truth. You couldn't persuade her. You couldn't browbeat her, bludgeon her, cajole her, bribe her, or in any way get her to divert from the course of truthfulness and justice. That is the kind of woman that she was. Mahine toa. Mahine toa. When I think about the thing that Moani gave to me most, and you know, we all love Moani. All ohana over here. Aloha, pilikoko. But you know, with Moani, it was up, down. Half the time you're working together, the other half of the time you're going, you know, I just can't go with that strategy, and there's this struggle going on. Well, when Moani called, when we got the kahea, Moani was already in the hospital. I went to see her. I was cooking a little bit of luau and things like this on the side. But I went to go and see her, and I told her, you know, Moani, after all these years, what is it? What is it of all the things that irked you the most? Because I went to hundreds of meetings with Moani, and I'm sure you all did too. How could you tell that Moani was in the audience, even when it was reparation federal hearings and there were 800 guys there? You would sit there and you would listen, and you look at the faces of people, and they're kind of going like this, and all of a sudden there would be this screaming voice saying, wait a minute, are you trying to say this? Are you expecting us to believe this? That was Moani Akaka. And when I asked her that question, she said, you know, the thing that has irked me the most all these years was that they look at our internal cultural processes and they make up stories like Hawaiians always fighting, Hawaiians alamihi crab. She said, you know, do you remember when we were young and in our 30s, we went to meet with the Indian kupuna, Janet McLeod, in the Northwest, and that's where we learned to aloha and work with the American Indian sisters. She said, do you remember that first night? And I couldn't remember. She said, well, the question came up about Indians always fighting, just like Hawaiians always fighting. They can't agree. She said, do you remember the answer? I told her I'd forgotten, Moani. You know, that was 40 years ago for me. She said the Indian kupunas rose and spoke about the way of great warriors the night before the battle. How do they prepare? How do they sharpen their weapons? by steel on steel, by striking it together. That is what we do. That is why we do not follow blindly as sheep. Because when the chiefs gather to talk for war, and the scalloped ava bowl is passed, because you're not sure if you will end with that chief being an ally or an enemy, when that time comes, there is great debate, because you cannot afford to have a weakness in your strategy. And so every Hawaiian with an opinion will rise to the floor and put it out there. And what follows is the striking of blades, steel to steel, so that we will be sharp when the battle opens with those who are enemies. Many disagreements I had with my sister Moani. They strengthened me, they informed me, and they showed me how blessed I was that she was my sister. I told her at the end, Moani, you will cross before me, but I come right behind you. We're almost the same age, she and I. I told her I'm gonna get there and blow the poo. If the gates don't open, throw the rope ladder down. She said you can count on me. That is the way our sister was. How greatly blessed are we that the Okua and Aumakua brought her light into our lives. We are better people for it. We are stronger warriors. We are better mothers. We are leaders of our people. Let us honor her. Let us honor her memory and honor these gifts by living our lives in a way that reflect the graciousness of the gifts that she has given to us. Aloha.